Welcome to the Legged Sportscast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
Big thanks once again, Monterex. You know the score by now. 15% off. Type in Legged at checkout. We are also teaming up once again with BetMate. So if you want to go for it against me and Jordan in a little mini fantasy in the Liverpool Man United game, sign up. The link is in the description. You basically sign up, pick your best 7 players in the Liverpool United game. Goals, assists, tackles, interceptions, all that gets calculated, and there's a mini leaderboard that goes on during the game. I think it'll be a £3 buy-in, minimum £100. It's normally a lot more than that. And have a go. Join BetMate, have a go against me and Jordan and everyone else, and hopefully win a few quid.
Here we go.
There we go. On the kind of gambling front, we put out a few tips each week. You won on mine last week, so you owe me a beer whenever you next see me, everyone. I got the 3 aways in.
Well done.
We were so close on getting the 6-fold in.
Leyton Orient, wasn't it?
Leyton Orient at home, drew 0-0. So you will have won on the 3 aways. A few people messaged me with beers and stuff, which was nice to see. 5 out of 6, unlucky. I had another go on the 6-fold on the Sunday. I got the 3 aways in again.
Yeah.
I got 2 homes in, and Augsburg was 1-1. They had 2 goals disallowed.
Oh yeah, you said, yeah.
So both Saturday and Sunday, I got 5 out of 6.
Mate, so
I'm on fire at the moment, so I'm like brimming, boiling point. I'm just like, something's coming.
Mate, that one last Saturday, I think the overall accumulator was about 33-1 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think
the 3 aways paid about 7 or 10-1 or something.
I think that, I was on the 3 aways, that sorted me out, but look back on the on obviously the roll-up, it was decent odd, like, and obviously to be let down by one home team.
A home team as well, so we were unlucky on that. Your bet was, again, super unlucky.
Ridiculous.
Jordan tipped up the knockouts 2-1. By the time it went off, 13-8, was it? 11-8?
Yeah, he was even shorter, I think. So he got smashed in, but then obviously dropped him in the first round with one of the most disgusting body shots you'll ever see. There's a video going round and you could literally hear it. So then you're just thinking, matter of time. Then Jez Smith gets saved by the bell in the 3rd, so you're thinking, come on. But then he comes back and has a good couple of rounds. Then gets saved again in the last and the 8th and last round, but
Jordan was giving me a running commentary going, lad, this fight's the best 8 round you've ever seen. I'm going, have we won you? Has he knocked him out yet? No, but it's the best fight ever.
I was proper torn between obviously gambling and being like a fan, because it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Sky knows what they're doing, but obviously they're getting into boxing with Life After Eddie Hearn. They put them on YouTube or Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And it was the best fight of the whole night by far. But yeah, if you haven't watched it, go and watch Brad Ray versus.
I saw the knockdown, mate, the body shot.
It's disgusting. How he gets up in the first round, I have no idea.
Just on boxing for a minute, I prefer seeing I like a knockout via a body shot than I do on the chin.
Sexy, aren't they?
Because, don't get me wrong, sometimes, you see a knockout and it's like, for entertainment, you're like, wow. It's a bit scary sometimes, isn't it? Like, you look at the Callum Smith one a few weeks back, he's clipped him clean on the chin and or whatever he hit him, and he's shaking on the floor. You think, oh, fucking hell. I think a body shot, there's that moment where it's like, oh, yeah.
I think that's
it's like a bit of respect thing there, isn't it? Like,
I think the best thing is when you see a knockout, it's like, oh, he's got no choice but to stay down. Sometimes when you see a perfect land, you see they're all there, but they're just looking back at you've got me, there's nothing.
Canelo done a good one on Liam Smith.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And Liam, and he's just going.
Yeah. I think what's brilliant about that is Liam's an unbelievable body puncher as well. Do you know what I mean? And
ironic,
And then he just gets hit by one of them.
I do that sometimes. I just YouTube, best, body shot knockouts.
There's some ridiculous ones. But the best thing about body shots is, I don't know, there's a YouTube compilation as well, people coming back from him, do you know what I mean? Getting up and you're like, how have you... Jez Smith is one of them. He hit him in the solar plexus, right down the middle. You'd hear the lever, basically just slap him. I would not, mate. Even if I felt the breath, I'd be staying down. You don't want to take...
Have you ever, cracked a rib as well?
Oh, mate, it's...
Lad, I couldn't breathe. I'd argue say it was worse than getting blown up. It was, honestly, lad. Honestly. Maybe being a bit dramatic and saying that, but, oh, lad, I was like...
I had a few bad football injuries where, the thought of doing it is, worse for everyone else. But I cracked a rib doing, do you know what I was doing? We used to lift the goals up and moved them, you know, for training things. And we were messing around, and someone pushed the opposite end, and like the metal post just cracked me. And it like I don't think it broke me. I think I cracked it. But mate, I was raw. Honestly, I was on the floor.
It's horrible
and people
pain.
going like stand up. I was like, I cannot, like, I can't get up. Well, yeah, it's a horrible injury. Yeah. Horrible.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we were unlucky in our bets.
Do you know what though? The good thing is, like, obviously, in fact, we have great people following us because, you know, there's never any like fucking hell, it lost. People are like, people who are following them are like, oh my god, like you're on the right track. Do you know what I mean? We're not throwing up like some random bets and they're nowhere near.
No, yeah, we're always in with a shout, aren't we?
And that's what we want.
And all, the other thing, we're not backing, you know, 1 to 10s either.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
So if we were doing that, but as I said, yeah, we've had a good bit of interest also about the extra Sportcast show which we're going to do, which will be a bit more in depth. So that's going to get.
I had a few messages about that yet, so that was good to know that there is an interest there. So yeah, just a quick one on that. We are going to be doing another show for Patreon members who support us, and it's going to be, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes of a bit more in-depth look at betting strategies, betting tactics, what we fancy, what we're going for, you know, more anti-post bets, bit more inside info that me and Jord have. So yeah, there's a few people who messaged, so we'll get that going the next week or two.
Yeah, but I think you're going to hit an accumulator before Christmas, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
you are going to. It's just as you say,
getting 2 in at the weekend gave me a bit of confidence, and even through the week I had some decent little wins and stuff, and it's brimming. It's brimming.
To get Christmas paid for.
Yeah, exactly. Last week of sport, Mohamed Salah just being Mohamed Salah.
Do you know what my thing's saying? He's the best Liverpool player I've ever seen. Starting to age well, isn't he?
Yeah. Everyone's saying it now.
No, mate, honest, I've never seen anything like it.
You do these kind of shouts, and you know you do see him a little bit before your time. Whether it's, you know, Usyk, whether it's Salah, you know.
The thing with Salah is, I'm so happy actually because I always feared he'd be appreciated after he left or after he's gone.
No, he's getting
but
the appreciation now.
He's starting to get exactly what he deserves in terms of, like, we're watching something here which is, you know, fucking special, like. Really special.
How we can do it against Man City, arguably one of the goals of the season, because it's not only what he's done but who it's against. As one against Watford's arguably better. Okay, maybe not the standard of opposition, but I just think when you're in the box and you have the balls to put your foot on it and like drag it back, and then it's wow.
Do you know what though? And we say the standard's not the best, but these are like, to be a Premier League player, the fans will say, oh, this fella's crap or whatever, but to reach that level, you're a serious footballer, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
probably a bit disrespectful me saying that.
And he's like leaving them on the floor. But it's just...
And then he does it again against Atletico.
Exactly, yeah, cuts in.
Have you seen the footage, mate, where he cuts in and Van Dijk's put hands up already?
There's loads of them, isn't there? I think there's like 4 pictures from across the seasons where he's doing it. He's like, he's going to score.
Just know it's happening.
But for them, I mean, I know the game sort of turned on its head a little bit, but for like 20 minutes there, he was just electric, wasn't he?
If we probably just start on Liverpool then, and Salah, obviously Salah's on fire. Liverpool seemingly on fire. It was a tough game against Atletico, you know, really tough game, and I think Klopp called them a dirty 3 points. Great to have got that win.
Winning like that is my favourite way to win. I'd rather win like that than win 5-0. Because it's like... Would you
rather be 2-0 up, give the lead away and nick it 3-2, or would you rather be 2-0 down and come back and win 3-2?
Do you know what? I'd rather do what we did, because it's like, even when momentum goes against us, we just stick to what we do. Do you know what I mean? And it usually pays off. But that game could have easily gone 2-2 to them, and then they go and win 3-2, 4-2. Do you know what I mean? But we stopped it, slowed the game down, and then went and won it. Obviously the red card and stuff.
It was a red, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a red. It was just weird, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, it was harsh.
Yeah, because he's looking at, like, I think everyone on the pitch, because there was no like going mad or nothing. I think the thing with Robinson got pushed was funny, but he's obviously just trying to control it, but it's a red, isn't it? Like, no, and I think he knew that, but just like the rules are the rules now. But
I seen that Simeone not shaking hands after it and stuff, and I thought Klopp gave a very diplomatic answer. You know, he was trying to be drawn in on. Was there a bit of?
Yeah.
Listen, Klopp isn't football like that. It's an emotional game. I can understand Simeone.
That's what I said. Like, I mean, I love Simeone. Like, he's horrible to play against, obviously, but I think if you've got a manager, we love Klopp for the pretty similar reasons that people love Simeone, because he's involved, he's invested, you know what I mean? Like,
he's getting the crowd going and stuff.
Like, he's on his knees. He obviously cares about that club massively, wants to win every single game. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure And I'd go on, I think, I'm sure he's rang Klopp since, or they've spoken and he's just said, do you know what I mean? There's mutual respect there. It's not like this, like, it was never, fuck Jurgen Klopp. It was just like, you know, it was a mad emotional game.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
But as long, mate, I do love him. As long as he stays away from Man United, I'll be alright.
Yeah, I'd hate him to be in the Premier League.
Because
there was a time when I wanted him to be the next Liverpool manager.
Mate, I would snap your hand off. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp's the only person I'd want to manage Liverpool right now. But if we had to pick an alternative, he's it. Because
I think he'd have us playing a very different way, though.
Yeah, he would. But I couldn't understand people saying it's horrible, it's negative. It's like, they were like unbeaten. Like, the records are ridiculous. The
defence, mate, has always been incredible.
Yeah. And I think there's an art in that. But that's what worries me. I don't think he'd go because I don't think he would ever allow decisions to get made over his head by like boards of directors and stuff like that. I think he's I wouldn't like to go in to tell him like something bad had happened. but that's why I don't think he'd go. But if he went to United, he'd make them horrible. Yeah. They would be horrible.
Before we touch on United, two things about Liverpool actually. One, mate, that referee had balls of steel to overturn that penalty. One, I didn't think it was a pen, but mate, I went to Atletico before COVID happened, and mate, the atmosphere there is electric. Yeah, it was probably one of the best atmospheres I've been to. To go against that, mate, was fair play to the ref.
I don't mind that. I mean, I've said before, I think the standard of refereeing's going up. I think they're onto a bit of a shit thing with this VAR stuff at the moment, the way it's working, but I think it was his decision. I think it was very, very stupid from Jota. But, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a stone like this. It was a stone wall.
This was a stupid one,
I've never seen anything like that.
Me half fellow went, I was standing next to him having a pint, he went, why has he just done that? And I was just like...
I was watching the match on my own and I was laughing my head off because it was the most... Nothing was happening. What is he doing? But...
Absolute idiot.
Yeah, going on. Jota's was just a striker defender money. He was just looking at the ball, didn't know anyone was around him.
And definitely wasn't.
If it went against us, I'd have said, you know what, fair enough, it's just stupid, what is he doing? But, you know, by the rules... The refs called it right, but as you say, it would have been easy for him to just say, yeah, it's a pen.
And the last thing I say on Liverpool is Naby Keita needs to get the fuck out of this club. I don't like slagging players and coming out like saying he's shit and that, but
I do because he's garbage. He is crap. I've said this, but even when he signed, I remember watching him.
He was a YouTube footy bloke. He was like, one of them money everyone's done.
I watched his first game and do you know what? I think it was West Ham.
It was, and he done that turn.
Yeah, but like, and then everyone went mad. But I remember thinking, in the rest of that game, he was garbage. Like, he didn't do anything. And then there's a couple of games to stick out. The Napoli one away where we were getting overrun, and he sat down in the centre circle. Said his hip had gone or something.
Yeah.
And then he was playing like a week later.
It's one of those injuries that as well where you can't really...
You can't diagnose it,
yeah.
And he never fancies it. It's like when they got after him a bit, he went, I know he scored that volley, but professional football players can score volleys, but what I'm worried about is like when that lad turns him at the touchline,
mate,
he just goes,
how easy.
He's just jogging like after him. But do you know what annoys me about Liverpool? Why is no one saying it to him? I'm sure they might have in the changing room.
I think Klopp did at half time.
I mean, oh my God. But people like Henderson and that, I know it might not be his style and he might have done a half time, but like, do you know what are you doing? Why are you so lackadaisical? Why is everything so pedestrian?
Yeah.
And then you've got Milner, who's 48 or whatever he is.
Yeah, he is the exact opposite of what Keita's doing.
Imagine Milner, like, going for the money. This is what mad about footy. Milner should be going for the money that he went for and getting all this. Oh, yeah. Keita's this, Keita's that. Like,
yeah, the plaudits of it, yeah.
The audacity to take number 8.
I know. It's a hard number to take, is it, to be fair.
But, you know.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Speechless.
Off the Liverpool end, but kind of still linked to it, Man United. How the fuck they spawned that? Well, bit disrespectful to say they spawned it. They won 3-2. But 2-0 at half-time, was it?
And they had chances. Atalanta, and I mean, obviously Ronaldo's goal's brilliant. Like, it's a great.
I've not seen any of it, like, but I just saw, you know, he saved the day again.
He's not slowing down, is he?
He's unbelievable, isn't he?
He is ridiculously good, but he was quiet in the game, but just, as Luke Shaw crosses it, you'll probably see it after this, he basically just grabs the defender, and he's like, don't even go for it, do you know what I mean? And he just angles it to, oh mate, it's so good.
That's what scares me about, again, you look at Liverpool's form, you look at the team cohesion, you look at how the form Salah's in at the minute, Bobby's dazzling everyone, you think this is not an easy 3 points, but you think, wow, fucking right up for this.
Data says we're the better team.
But then you just think it's United, it's Old Trafford, it's Ronaldo.
Yeah, Paul Scholes made a good point. Like, after the game, Jake Humphries, the broadcaster, was like, oh, you got to be happy with Danny. He was like, no. He was like, the first half was that bad. You won, but you're then going into a game thinking, oh, like, we're going to play, we've won, we're on this. We said, he's like, you play against like that against Liverpool, you'll be 5 behind really quickly. And he's probably right, but like, obviously it's not always nice to hear after a 3-2 victory, because if someone was saying that after a 3-2 victory for Liverpool, we'd probably be saying, shut up. But it is true. If they come out and defend the way they did against us, we'll be quick. And
I don't think, sounds like hypocritical because we done it against Atletico, but I think if we went 2-3-0 up against United, I don't think they'd be bringing it back like Atletico did. I
mean, we don't look, we still look a bit rusty defensively, a little bit.
Yeah, Van Dijk got caught out a bit, didn't he, with that goal, I thought.
But I mean, he's still coming back. I mean, do you know what I was happy about? That thing with Suarez where he landed awkward on his knee. It was like, he got back up. Sometimes with stuff like that, it's a bit of mental for him. Do you know what I mean? He's like, oh my God, I've felt impact on it now.
Yeah, I heard Jamie Carragher, when we done a podcast with him, he said a similar story, and he said, you know, it was so funny as well. Carragher tells the story, and then the lad Carragher mentions tweeted me and said, that was me.
Really?
Basically, when Carragher come back from his leg break, you know, he was a bit nervous about going in for a big tackle again, and someone just said, you just need to go in, you know, hard on someone and, you know, get it out the way. And he was playing in like the reserves or the under 20, whatever it was, and against Everton. And he said this winger got the ball, and he said Carragher just went through him, just fucking took this kid out, like, you know what I mean, terrible tackle. Yeah. But just he needed to just mentally just
get through it.
Get through it. And just took some kid out. And
it's so true, and you could almost see his face, Van Dijk. He was like, he got up and then he was like, oh, now nothing, because it almost feels like, and he's that good. He's playing in like second gear, do you know what I mean? He's not really exerting himself that much.
Yeah.
But, you know, injuries are everywhere, aren't they? I mean, if you touch on, I see Everton just got Calvert-Lewin out to like Christmas or something.
Is that what they said, yeah?
The Corey got a broken foot.
Seeing that as well.
I mean, couldn't be any...
This is where, for Everton, if, you know, talk about Everton, again, we've said, I think, most weeks, haven't we? How impressed we've been with Rafa, how impressed we've been with Everton. And again, we're both not bitter. I'd love to see Everton do well. I'd love to see Everton get in Europe. You know, I'd love to see, you know, them have a really good season. And I think they've started brilliantly. I think this is where now it might struggle. Yeah. And I just hope that the fans don't turn on Rafa.
No, I don't think they will, to be honest. I think you'd have to be stupid not to see the progress. Obviously, you have players like Rondon and that who aren't good enough. Alex Iwobi as well. But you'd have to be stupid not to see the improvements Everton have made. Do you know what I mean? Even, you know, that West Ham game was a really close game. The difference in that game, and is someone who I've absolutely slated, was Declan Rice. Yeah. That was the difference in the game. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think you look at it and you go, well, it's a game now where Moyes is kind of coming back there. Everton, West Ham, I think, are very similar teams as well. You know, they're kind of on the brink of like making that step up into Europe, and it's one of those games where you want to be making a mark saying, actually, we're better than West Ham. So to lose by them at home is one of them, but like you say, if Declan Rice is going to play, I think he's got potential, hasn't he, really, to kick on. The injuries that they've got, I think they were just unlucky, and I just 100%. Hope that. I hope that, because that's the problem, I think, with Everton. I don't think it'll take a lot for them to turn on him.
I hope not. I mean, obviously, you've seen Richarlison's back in training, so obviously that he can go and play up front, but I think Decore's a massive miss, isn't he? Because
he's huge, he's and with a big injury like that.
He's a midfielder who could probably play in any, really. You know, he'd go close to every squad in the league, really. He's a top player.
The next few games, Everton have got Watford at home, so you'd fancy them there. They got Wolves away. I'd go say to fancy them there. But then, from the 7th of November, they've got Tottenham, Man City, Brentford, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a tough run, isn't it?
And I just think that takes them up to December.
That'll probably make or break Rafa a bit, but in his defence, he's got the type of style where he could just get through them games. You know, if he goes...
Just shut up shop and
no, if he goes, they're 4 games there, let's take, you know, let's draw a couple and then get through it and not really take that much of a hit, you know what I mean? And then, for example, if they're still within 6 points or whatever of Europe, and then you're like, right, we got Decore coming back, we got Calvert-Lewin coming back. If they've still got an eye on Europe by Christmas, I think any Everton fan would snap your hand off right now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They go, right,
I agree.
We've now got a second half of the season to go and get Europe. Do you know what I mean?
You're at 8 at the moment. 14 points. You know, we're talking about United and Tottenham. Same points as West Ham, United. Tottenham a point above. So yeah.
Just got to stay in touching distance, mate. That's all.
Yeah.
Literally, that's all there is for Everton.
On injuries as well, Lukaku injured. I don't like to see players get injured, but I'm fucking made up.
My fantasy team, I went, this is obviously for another podcast, made the change, didn't I? And then next game, Lukaku's injured. I was like, oh. But good for Liverpool, good for anyone else trying to get, like, obviously win the league, because Werner's injured as well, isn't he?
Yeah, both of them. So I think that'll be interesting now for Chelsea next few weeks for them, because they are going to miss a good few games.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got Norwich at the weekend. I think they could probably put me and you in for Lukaku and win, and they'd probably still beat Norwich. But after it, Newcastle, Burnley, Leicester. So they've actually not got that many big opponents, when probably for the games they're going to be missing, but still, you know.
Newcastle winning, got rid of Bruce, didn't he?
Yeah, I felt sly on Bruce.
See that? Was that statement true? Where he was
apparently
like,
a cabbage head.
Cabbage head.
Yeah.
Inept cabbage head.
It's sly, that, isn't it?
It is sly. But what's not sly is the 7.5 million he got, whatever he got.
Yeah. You can, yeah.
Someone call me a cabbage head all he wants.
I know. You know what, pissed me off, actually? You know, I just think sometimes, maybe this might offend a few people, I'm sorry if it does, but it's all about offence. So if you're offended, then don't fucking listen.
Yeah.
So
switch off now.
Switch off now. So Newcastle fans made up that the club's not owned by Mike Ashley and it's been bought by Saudi Arabia, a consortium, 80% owned by them. So they were in Saudi Arabia, rig.
Yeah.
And the Kick It Out campaign have come out and said, don't do that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's fucking offensive to people. The owners come out and said it's not offensive.
We are not offended.
We're not offended. It's great, to see. And the Kick It Out campaign have said, it can be, it can be looked upon as a sit. Why? Because they're dressing up like people from Saudi Arabia.
Mate, fancy dress parties are limited now, aren't they?
Oh, mate.
All you can go as is men in black. Like, just a black,
just a black suit.
That's literally all you've got. You can't do anything.
And I just think, like, that pissed me off, that.
Yeah. Because, obviously, the people who own Newcastle now, probably like, mate, we've done a lot of stuff we can't really be saying we're offended by. We follow a certain set of values where, being offended is probably the least of our worries. But
it's brilliant if they come out on the back of killing journalists. They say, actually, you know what? Forget about that. Do not dress up like we do in our home country.
That's seriously offensive. But we're living in a time now. Some pop star the other day said calling the alien an alien's offensive. I forget the name.
I think like the Kick It Out campaign have done, so whether you agree with taking a knee or not, I think they've done a great job of raising awareness of racism, and
100%.
Obviously racism's wrong, and all that. They've done a great job on it, but they just shoot themselves in the foot by saying, "Oh, you can't wear that; it's offensive."
I just don't get the PR thing of like, right, what we're gonna do? We've made this progress now. We've still got a minority who are not on board, who still like booing and stuff like that. But that's no problem. We've made real good progress. I've seen the thing with Conor Cody and Tyrone Mings where they were talking about it and why they do it, and their kids sort of asking questions now, which is absolutely. And they go, right, what we're going to do now is we're going to say that's offensive because that's the right move. Like, who's getting paid to make that decision?
And who's taking offence to it?
I know.
If the people who it's aimed at aren't offended, why is some fucking fella from England who's in charge of the Kick It Out campaign go, "Oh, that's offensive, that"? Well, it's not, is it?
Everything's offensive these days, mate.
So that pissed me off, and if you're offended by that, fuck off, to be honest. Don't listen.
One viewer down.
Yeah. Anything else in footy?
No, I mean, obviously just previewing the Liverpool United game as we've done. It's just, that's the pick of the weekend, isn't it? It's
going to be a big game.
I think, we've got one international break left, haven't we?
Yeah.
And then we can obviously go.
We can just forget about that.
It's obviously starting to pick up now, isn't it? I mean, there's starting to be little gaps and sort of in the European races and stuff like that. So
I'd fancy obviously Chelsea have got to be the banker of the weekend at home to Norwich.
Yeah, they've got to be.
Again, I fancy Everton to beat Watford. I think the other game's quite close. Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Leeds, Wolves, Southampton, Burnley all going to be close. Obviously Man City, Brighton, I think that'll be a good test for Man City as well. Brighton have been playing well.
Is that away or at home?
City are away for that.
Yeah, that's a decent
So
game.
it's going to be a decent test for them. And then the Sunday rolls into obviously Liverpool United. Be a good game. They're all good actually on the Sunday. Brentford, Leicester, West Ham, Tottenham, United, Liverpool.
And on Sunday, Aintree is back.
I love how you little...
Segue.
That was a nice segue.
Yeah. It's back, finally, none more of that. I mean, I know we love Dragon's Den, but we're not going to talk about that, but the flat shit's gone now. We can actually watch some proper horse racing.
Can't wait. So
this weekend is Cheltenham Saturday, Aintree Sunday.
And a bit of an invested interest for you personally as well.
Obviously our horse, the Hollow Ginge, is going at Cheltenham on Saturday. He had a bit of an in and out year last year. I mean, you'll see his record, it was like unseated, pulled up, but he had some problems that they only found out sort of after that have been fixed. I mean, I was saying to you before, his record first time out he's never been outside the top 2 first time out. I think he's about 20-1. I don't know what time the actual race is. Let me try and get it up. It's
that to me says he likes a long rest, you know. Bit of a lazy bastard, but then
he's had some obviously problems that they didn't know about. But like when you look at his form when he's been fit, it's fucking really strong. He's obviously a Grand National horse that we're sort of aiming towards a Grand National. And this race is full of, you know, cloth caps in there. He was Grand National favourite last year. I think it's 3 miles around Cheltenham, 220 it is on Saturday.
20-1 would be a nice price as well.
But yeah, he's about 20-1. I think they're paying 3 places, might get 4 places somewhere if you're lucky. But I'm not saying he's going to win, but if you know, as long as everything's okay, which we're told it is, he will definitely outrun 20-1. 100% outrun 20-1.
Might even be marked for the place.
Yeah,
place
that's what
marker.
I mean. But I mean, obviously all eyes are on the Grand National come April. So, you know, as long as he gets to Cheltenham, he strips a bit fitter afterwards. You know, he looks well, jumps well, and we sort of see a bit of progress there. Then, you know, obviously there's bigger targets in the future. But I mean, obviously people who were like, you know, casually punting, so to speak, will probably look at his form and go leave him. But all I'd say is just, you know, if you are having a bet, just dig a little deeper. And I think his record first time out, first, second. So, you know, I think
I'll be having a few quid on it.
I think he'll definitely, you know, he'll as long as he's okay, he'll run really well.
So that's the Saturday,
yeah,
and then the Sunday.
We'll fly back from the Cotswolds. And then Aintree, the Silver Ginge goes at 3:35. So the Silver Ginge is obviously another one of ours, but he's only a baby, only 4. Ran once, come 7th, but did okay. And basically they're just really impressed, they're really happy with him at home, showing a bit of ability, already schooling over the hurdles and stuff. They're quite happy with him, and it's sort of one of them where they're like, right, we think he's good at home, he's doing everything we ask, we're going to have to go and see if he's any good, do you know what I mean? So he's French bred, so he'll like Aintree, nice flats, lovely service and stuff. So
what price is he at the moment?
He's not up yet, so he'll get declared on Friday, and then price will come out, but he'll be a decent price, like. But I have my brother on board as well, so my brother for my dad around Aintree will be nice.
You'll have us, me and you there supporting him.
We'll be there, bladdered.
That's mine and Jordan's Sunday, 8 in the morning. Watch Jamie run for his arm man and win us some money.
To be honest, my plan was to go Cheltenham, whole day on the ale, back home, avoid my wife, get home, go to Aintree Sunday, and then go watch Liverpool and then deal with the consequences Monday.
Solid plan.
Yeah, but I obviously bought a dog. So
have bought a dog,
bought a dog, so Saturday had to get pushed back, and then Sunday was going to get pushed back, but obviously Liverpool United, and then Jamie riding for my dad around Aintree's just massive.
Has Jamie ridden around Aintree before?
He's ridden around Aintree, but not for my dad, and not in obviously in the Ginge colours. And when Jay sort of got in, because obviously it was my granddad who got us into racing, and Jay's obviously aim was just to ride around Aintree in the colours. Obviously it'd be a bit of a low meeting, but he's gonna do it, hopefully. Fucking fingers crossed.
It's gonna be a good day Sunday.
Yeah, might be a few emotions knocking about, but
so if you're at Aintree on Sunday, come and say hello to me and Jordan.
And back to Silver Ginge and pay for your ale.
Boom.
But yeah, boss to see the jump racing back. There's loads of meetings between Haydock, Aintree, Haydock, Cheltenham, wherever you want to go, and all roads lead to April.
It's going to be a few Sportcast away days, I'll tell you that.
Oh mate, I'm telling you.
So yeah, Aintree Sunday be good. Any boxing and that to go on this week?
Yeah, there's a decent fight over in the States. Jamel Herron, who is
mate, I speak to him, you know.
Do you? Oh yeah, he's a Marine.
So yeah, we spoke on Twitter. I think was it you?
It might have been me.
It was you, yeah. You put me
yeah.
onto his story, so I messaged him and he messaged me back, to be fair.
He's a legend.
And mate, we speak on Twitter, we're like Twitter friends now.
Yeah, but obviously you got very similar sort of stories.
And he was in the Marines one, he's got PTSD, he's got a kid with...
I think he's got...
he's lost a kid, I think, didn't he?
One of his kids
learning
has learning difficulties and stuff like that, but just a solid... But you listen to him speak, you're just like, I'd love to just have 20 minutes with you.
Yeah, well, he come over, didn't he? And I wanted to try and catch up with him, but obviously COVID hit and stuff. And he was keen to meet up as well for the podcast and that. So
he's a solid fighter, really solid
really
fighter.
Nice guy as well, you know.
I mean, sort of form-wise, he's coming off the performance of his career against Carlframpton.
Frampton,
yeah. So he's fighting Shakur Stevenson now, who's always been considered sort of... Every American gets the next Floyd Mayweather, but he was always, you know, he's on the American Olympic team and all that stuff, and he was always considered to be the next big thing. But 16-0, he's won a world title in his own right, but he's never really done what people thought he would. Do you know what I mean? He's a little bit of a negative fighter. He's a little bit safe and stuff like that, but I think people expect him to set the world right, and he's not quite done it yet. I mean, he could have been sort of waiting for a stage like this where, you know, he goes and puts a beating on Jamel Hedden and everyone goes...
Because Jamel's older,
he's much older. I think he must be 36 now. But obviously Stevenson's younger, but they actually know each other really well. They've got lots of mutual friends. They've shared gyms and stuff like that. And to be honest, Stevenson's been a bit of a knob in the whole build-up. He said something... they had like a face-off and he was talking to people on stage. He was like, I don't know whether Jamel's got any heart, and you could see Jamel looking at him as if to say, mate, like, I've done so much more than this, you know what I mean? Like, this is not, you might be better than me when it's all said and done, but...
like, don't question me heart.
Yeah, that's just... But what it is sometimes these people, they see the trash talk that the likes of Mayweather and all that done, and they try to portray it because that's what you do, and they start clutching at straws. And I mean, if Shakur Stevenson is what they say he is, then he'll win. But if he's not, he's going to get taught a harsh lesson probably, because, you know, you're going to do well to get Jamel Hedden somewhere. You know, you're going to do well to get rid of him. Stevenson's a bit of a point specialist, so I could see him winning on points, but as I said, it's intriguing for me because if he's not what they say he is, then he's going to get a bit of a beating. But if he is what they say he is, then
is it a betting fight, or are you staying away from it?
No. I mean, if you're going to have a bet, the only bet is Jamel Hedden, because, you know, there's absolutely nothing in Shakur Stevenson's profile to say you should be backing him as short as he is. He's stupidly short odds.
Is he, yeah?
Yeah, he's really short. 1-9 he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
And I might lay him.
Yeah, it's one of them where, like, you know, if you get to the end of the fight and you're like, you know, Shakur Stevenson won, you'd be like, okay, well, he is what they say he is, but it's happened time again where, you know, you could probably it might be an in-play one where you, like, you know, you let that shorten up a little bit and then make your money, do you know what I mean? But I can't, there's no way he's 1-9. No, like, it's not, absolutely no. But he's 8-11 for the decision, so you can sort of see where the fight's going. But I mean, 12-1 Jamel Hedden for the decision is absolutely mental. But I never thought we'd see Jamel Hedden at 11-2 outright.
Yeah, no, I don't know much about his fights, but I know him as a personality and I've always liked him, so I'll be tuning into that, to be fair.
The thing is as well, it's like, what people don't understand is where these people come from and what he's been through and what he goes through with his kids and stuff like that. These aren't just pushovers, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's in incredible shape. Like, he's in incredible shape.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he'll definitely make Shakur Stevenson prove that, you know, he's got something.
I know when's the Canelo Plant fight?
November the 5th, I think it was the 6th.
A few weeks away. I've just seen Canelo there saying he's never had so much bad blood towards someone. That's heating up nicely in the background,
he's got bad blood, but it's just not injected blood. T. Joshua's over there.
Is he?
In the States. He was with Eddie Reynoso, so he's with Canelo. Then he went to Jamel and Jamal Charlo's gym. Ronnie whatever the guy's name is, so we went with him.
What, training?
Yeah, so he's been around like 5, been with Virgil Hunter and Joshua-Usyk. So he's been like around about 5 American gyms now. Obviously looking for a new trainer for the rematch, but...
So he's going to fuck Rob off completely, do you reckon?
Yeah, apparently he's going to keep Angel Fernandez, who's... Joshua's weird, he has like Rob, then he has Joby Clayton, I think the guy's name is, and then he has Angel Fernandez. He's had like 3 coaches in the corner, 3 voices. So apparently he's got rid of 2, keeping Angel Fernandez, and then going to hire an American coach. But you know, unless he brings a gun, he's got fucking no chance. But I can understand what he's doing, because to win the rematch, he needs
to do something different.
Yeah, but he needs to be a big, massive heavyweight, and he needs to, like, I think I've said it before, he needs to go out from the first bell. He's got 4 rounds to, like, get rid of Alexander, or he might as well just walk out and just say, right, I've had 4 rounds, I'm not going to win the boxing fight. So
with your boxing inside knowledge, is there any kind of news? What do you think on the old Usyk, Fury, Joshua? I mean, what?
No, I think the Joshua-Usyk rematch is set in stone, I think, contractually. And I think you know Usyk's one of them. As I've said it before, he'll probably say, I'm not budging out of Ukraine, or that's what I'd do. And then just let Eddie keep going, oh, will you come over for an extra 5%? You say, no. Extra 5? No. Until you're getting 85, 86, 87% of the deal, do you know what I mean? Then you go, yeah, I'll come. And I'll just beat you up again.
What a great bargaining chip that is.
The thing is, like, Eddie's desperate now, and Joshua doesn't want to go to Ukraine, does he? Let's be honest.
No.
So Usyk is basically sitting on however much money he really wants, because he'll just say, he played the card, I'm not moving out to Ukraine, it's my homecoming, my family are going to be there, I'm going to retire after, and then just let Eddie keep offering you more and more and more.
And why not? So, I would.
That's exactly what I do, because he's going to secure, you know, with that payday now, when he flips it round, you know, he's going to secure generations upon generations of his family, do you know what I mean? So,
fair play. And
if he beats Joshua again, I hope he just drops the belt and goes, see it, I'm off. The greatest heavyweight now. But one little interesting thing about this weekend is, on the undercard, is Muhammad Ali's grandson.
I've seen that.
And Evander Holyfield's son or grandson, son, I think.
We were speaking before, weren't we, on other podcasts, on our Monday show. We've got Paul Cheatham coming up, we've had Natasha Jonas coming on as well. They're both available now on Patreon. But we had conversations with both of them about the pressure of being someone's son like that, or grandson in this case. I mean, even if Muhammad Ali's grandson goes on and becomes the next Floyd Mayweather, he's still Muhammad Ali's grandson.
Never going to be Muhammad Ali. But the thing is, and we've said this as well, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because you do get further from the start being this person's grandson, son, nephew, whatever it may be. But does it pay off in the long run? Do you know what I mean? Because at some point someone's going to start saying, you're not as good as your granddad, or you're not as good as... And you never should have to be, but...
Even if, let's say, Campbell Hatton goes on and rips it up, right, absolutely kills it, there'll be a documentary on who was the best Hatton.
And because then, once he gets good, people start going, well, it's double to beat him.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't ever win, do you know what I mean?
Stop comparing me, man, yeah.
The thing is, like,
tough for him.
What baffles me is whether these people choose to do it or they're told to do it. Do you know
or they just feel a pressure.
It's like I've got to do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've got no other choice.
Well, yeah, you think about Muhammad Ali's grandson there. Imagine if he's just a bricklayer. No disrespect to bricklayers, but I mean, imagine if he just...
Isn't your granddad Muhammad Ali?
Yeah. That conversation would be horrible to have every day, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
and I'm sure he's got to do something. He might want to sell cars. He might be into bloody painting. He could be into anything. But whatever he's into, it's always going to be. Hell, lads, wasn't.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, like, it's when you succumb to that pressure, isn't it? It's like, are you actually doing this for you, or are you doing it because your name is a certain thing? Yeah. Your name's a certain name. Do you know what I mean?
I'd bet that most of them probably do it because they feel they've got to.
Or, you know, in the case of Campbell Hatton, Eddie's gone, oh, there's a Hatton there, yeah, mate, there's, I don't know, 200 grand over 3 years or whatever. And he's like, I'm going to earn that money doing anything else, so might as well. But it's a genuine no-win situation, isn't it? You can't win, because...
Might make a few quid out of it, but
you're never going to win. And then it just becomes awkward in the conversation with your dad, doesn't it, really? Dad always knows he can fill you in.
Anything else on the box, or UFC as well?
No, UFC's, again, it's a good fight, actually. Paulo Costa, have you seen the thing this week? You might not have seen it, it's so funny. So he's fighting, Paulo Costa's fighting Marvin Vettori at middleweight. So basically, Paulo Costa's known for being... These are both fought for the title, got beat. But he's known for being like... I think this last fight he was like, I lost because I was on the wine last night. Like, he just doesn't live the life. So basically he's turned up at media day and he's like... They're like, oh yeah, you're looking a bit big. And he's like, Yeah, I'm about £225. By the man's going to make 185. About 225. I'm not going to make the weight, like, so we might as well just change up. Well, I'm going to ask them, will he basically agree a catch weight and I'll give them some repairs. That blasé. Like,
wow.
He's like, yeah, I've got no chance.
Really?
So basically what he's saying now, he's like, well, can we do a catch weight of like, I think 190 odd? Might change by the time this goes out, 190 odd. And then like, yeah, but you're giving us a bit of your pace. He's like, yeah, sound. I'm just not cutting weight. Like, honest to God,
I love the level of fuck you, mate. Like, honestly, I can't so be arsed not eating that pizza, so I'm going to eat that pizza and I'll just give you 20 grand or something.
It's ridiculous, but yeah, like, he got beat by Adesanya and then he was giving it loads in the build-up, and then he was like, well, I had a bottle of red wine last night, so I couldn't win. He's an idiot, though. He like, usually that would be funny, wouldn't it? You'd be like, oh, this fella's nuts, but he's an actual idiot. But yeah, I think we got 3 sort of back-to-back pay-per-view events coming up with the UFC.
I seen Leon Edwards' Masvidal.
Fighting Masvidal, December the 11th, Vegas. You hit that accumulator, mate. We are off.
Oh, God. On that then, just to kind of side note into American sports, and again, I done a tweet about it the other day and I just deleted it because not that it was a bad tweet, but I just can't be asked with COVID in a conversation, and whatever you say about COVID, it's something good and bad comes from the tweet or whatever, so I just deleted it because I couldn't be asked with going back and forth with anyone. But what is really interesting is Australia have said obviously no one's getting in the country if you're not double vaccinated, and America have said the same thing. Novak Djokovic, I don't think has had his vaccinations, and he said, I'm not coming out and declaring whether I've had them or not. It's my own personal, which it is.
100%, that's exactly how it should be.
It's going to be interesting now. You've got the Australian Open, you've got the US Open. Does he just not compete in them no more? You've got the UFC bringing in, European fighters into... You've got
to be said, haven't you? You've got to be double jabbed.
You've got to be double jabbed.
UFC said as well, and I think it was quite interesting, they were like, this is not our decision. We don't care whether you're double vaccinated, but US government regulation says you have to be. So, when people thought, oh, it's not going to ever affect that, at the end of the day, government overrules sort of...
any sporting organisation,
so I think you might end up in a thing where people start retiring that,
I think so. I think so, because you think the Premier League have come out and said 30% of players are double vaxxed. Let's just say, take the UFC and say 30% of fighters are double vaxxed.
Yeah.
That's 70% of the roster who aren't going to be able to fight in America. That's a lot of money the UFC are going to be losing out on.
Yeah, and there's no way around it even. But no. I guess, do you know what happens here though? Is it's pressure, isn't it? Because if the UFC stand tall and go, right, you're on a 3-fight deal, you've got to get vaccinated or you can't fight. And then if someone says, well, I'm not getting vaccinated, they're going to go, all right, well, you're in the contract, you can't go and fight anywhere else either. So then you lose your livelihood. It's so fucked. So that's where this thing of, which is what I truly believe, whether even it's down to me and you, whether you believe whether you want to go and get vaccinated or you don't, like, I shouldn't care about what you want to do with your life. I don't care if you want to buy a MacBook or a Windows computer. Do you know what I mean? It's your decision what you want, and I mean, it's ridiculous, but I think that's where it's going to come to. They're going to start saying. And then slowly people start going, okay, well, I lose my livelihood, I'm going to go. Okay, I can't do this, so I'm going to go. And then they start doing things against the will, which obviously sets a dangerous precedent anyway. And then before you know it, everyone's done, and there we go. But
and you know what, and I understand this is a Friday podcast, it makes everyone feel good for the weekends, but you know what, the thing that kills me most is we sit here on every Thursday, we have a beer, we talk about sport, how much we love sport, how much we love live sport, how much it brings people together. With this vaccination thing, you suddenly get in a thing where, your favourite UFC fighter might not be able to fight anymore. And then you're going to have, I don't know, supporters maybe at home, sitting there, and he might be, a young lad our age might be sitting with his missus or something, his missus' mum and dad's or something, and they go, oh, I don't know, Conor McGregor, for example, oh, he's not fighting this weekend. And, his mother-in-law might go, oh, how come? She went, oh, he didn't get vaccinated, so he's not allowed to fight in America. Oh, well, that's stupid then, isn't he? He should have got vaccinated. And then he might go, well, he might not want to. And she went, well, I think it's dangerous. And then suddenly what should be just a sporting event that you enjoy causes this family divide, and it's like, fucking hell, man. The fact that,
we've said this now for 3 weeks running, I think the fact it's now coming into sports the worst thing for me, because that was the place where I could get away from it.
Exactly.
And now we're fucking, you know, I think, you know, they're talking about obviously the guy in the NBA and all that stuff, and they're starting to make people ostracised who aren't doing it. But at the end of the day, you know, sport people are just pawns in this game as much as we are. So
yeah, no, I agree.
All I hope that is we fucking stop having, you know, the conversation of, oh, this person's not vaccinated or this person is, because as we've said multiple times, we don't care.
Yeah, I honestly don't care.
Can you just put the fight on the telly, please?
Yeah, just let me be able to be there in an arena and watch people who are the best in the world at doing what they do. Yeah. Let me have a beer and let me view it.
I think that's the thing about sport, though, because as much as the world's always changed, sport's never changed. Do you know what I mean? It's still, you know, we've come so far in the world in terms of technology, you know, society, culturally, all this stuff, but fighting is still two fellas and two women fighting. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's
football's still 22 fellas trying to get that ball
still
in
wearing
the net.
Boots and shin pads, and they're wearing shorts, socks and a t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? It's never crossed the barrier of where everything else has, where everything else is like, obviously the way you digest it has, but it's always been as raw as it'll ever be. And suddenly it's becoming...
Mate, me and you love sports. That's why we do a sports show, and just reiterate what you said, mate.
It's the one thing in a fucking horrible world that actually brings people together. Do you know what I mean? That we live in a world now where we're so divided. You know, your neighbour grasses on you and all this stuff. But mine don't mind sound, but like your neighbour's grass on you and all this stuff. But sport's the one thing where you can go into a place, not know the fella, and put your arm around them and go, get in.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know you, but
I live for those moments on the copper. I just jump on a random stranger. So funny, I went on a date the other day and I was sitting there with this girl and she went, what's your perfect day? And I went, do you want me to be all romantic and give you the answer you probably want to give, or shall I be genuinely honest? And she went, no, go on, be honest. And I went, okay, well, I'd love to wake up and, you know, big breakfast, maybe a big long dog walk, go down Formby Beach with the dog, my little girl, you know, have a great day. If I was obviously dating someone, you know, with them, and, you know, a little kind of family morning and stuff like that. And then in an ideal way, it'd be perfect day.
We kick off at 3.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said Liverpool would be on at 4. I'd go and meet the lads about 2, 3, you know, bit of a scram, few beers, 4 o'clock, the match would kick off, and then I'd be in town for the day. That's my perfect day.
Then you get home and go, don't it?
I have the family stuff in the morning, then sport in the afternoon, and that's what sport is, though, isn't it?
Mate, like, obviously our life essentially revolves around it, and I'm with you, mate. You can't beat it.
Yeah. What are your tips then, mate? Betting tips? I'm gonna again put my 3 homes, 3 ways up in the bio when I've had a proper look. Have you got anything on the top of your head?
Hollow Gins to place. So I don't know what it'll be. I'll put it out on Instagram or whatever, but you know, take the 20 to 1 each way, but whatever the place betting is, I'm going to have a little single on that. So and hopefully we'll definitely get 3, maybe 4 places, because, you know, as I said, I think he's better than the bare form suggests.
Strong shout. Hopefully you'll have a boss weekend. I know you're listening to this Friday morning. Hope I haven't put it down with the COVID talk, but again, let's just enjoy sport for what it is. Thanks again for the support. Massively appreciated. Thanks to Monterex, thanks to Social Scousers who do all our media stuff for us. Again, if you like this chat, me and Jordan are now doing a few extra shows in the week. They're on Patreon, £4 a month, £7 a month, or £10 a month. You can support us, and we will be launching the betting kind of club, private betting club soon, which will be on Patreon. So again, go and check that out and have a boss weekend.